What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mountain Witch Tarot channel. I am your host, Sarah, and today we are snooping on Donald Trump with the use of divination, tarot, and Lenormand. So before we get started, go ahead and click that like button. And if you enjoy political tarot and divination, feel free to stick around, hit the subscribe. Now we are going to try to cover a few topics today. It's going to be a little bit of a review based on some of the readings we did in the past 2 or 3 weeks because, you know, the whole Maxwell, Epstein, Rupert Murdoch, JD thing is going on. Super interesting. So we want to kind of take a look at that stuff. And I have a few notes here. So we are going to try to go over secret plans, backstabbing, like all the juicy stuff. We'll get into it. I want to look and see what the status is of the energy around Maxwell right now to kind of see, like, you know, what's going on with her? What might we expect in the coming days or weeks? And I think August is going to be insanely interesting. So let's go ahead and get started on the readings. Okay, so the first thing that I want to start with is a couple of weeks ago in a reading, the cards showed us that Mike Johnson had some type of plan up his sleeve to help Donald Trump. And this was during the time where he was seemingly on board with releasing the Epstein files and subpoenaing Bondi and Maxwell to testify before Congress. And if you guys saw that video, you might know that it came out in the cards that despite Johnson kind of, you know, portraying himself as just another person who wants full disclosure on the Epstein case, the cards indicated that he was doing this with like a strategic plan in mind. Let's go ahead and kind of look into Johnson and just get a feel for what we might expect coming from Congress, from Johnson specifically. Hopefully we can get Johnson's energy to present in the cards and kind of give us an idea of what we might see coming from him in the next week, 2 weeks, month, whenever. So, Mike Johnson, what do you got for us, Mike Johnson? And I really would like to see a card representing his energy. He is surrounded by people playing for the team. This is like almost like family. So he's not in on this alone. This is not solely him. At this point, it may have been his idea, but as far as executing this plan, he's got some other people involved. Oh, nice. Very nice. I love this for him because this could indicate that possibly either the people working with him could back out or it could become publicly known. And the reason I say that is because, you know, for there to be this much heartbreak and disastrous, you know, whatever, hullabaloo, it's got to be something that hits him where it hurts, right? So we have to look at this as in what matters most to him in this situation. What would cause him the most heartbreak? Oh, ooh, interesting. Now, this is interesting coming out here because this is someone who's on a creative journey of sorts. Definitely Mike Johnson, and I believe this is his energy right here. This is the energy that he thinks he has, that he's running with at current moment. This is most likely the energy he will face, but this is his energy specifically. Very much a Page of Wands. That makes a lot of sense because, you know, this is someone who is so focused on their own ventures and their own, you know, just like admiring themselves, you know, like the kind of person who can't walk past a mirror without like a little kiss. All of the mirrors in his house probably have kiss marks on them. God, the GOP is going to come after me. Okay, so I'm going to stop laughing, I promise. Ooh, okay, so where do we go from here? Where do we go? So let's talk about Johnson's plan. Tarot, give us, paint us a picture of how his plan might play out coming up soon. The Queen of Pentacles, I think, I don't think this represents a person. I think this represents him getting to a place where he says, we've got the ability, we've got the material means to pull this off. Here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. The King of Cups, I'm feeling like some complacency. There are some people who are maybe feeling apathetic. That could be why we see, kind of something falling apart up here. The Sun card revealing, coming out into the light, and the High Priestess. The High Priestess is guarding secrets here. So we don't know if she's guarding the secrets that would answer the rest of this question, because there's too much up in the air at the moment. So not everything can really be determined at this very time. And I see this a lot with tarot when there are a lot of things happening very rapidly. A lot of times it won't answer a question for me. It'll just throw out a High Priestess, and I really won't get much farther, because I think there's just so much subject to change that it's really hard to kind of nail down what path is going to, and that's kind of how I feel just intuitively. Like, I don't think anybody can really look at this situation and say like, oh, this is definitely how this is going to go. At this point in time, there's too much. There is just way too much. But it is interesting that we have a couple of court cards coming out here again with the apathy. I keep thinking of people breaking away, just dropping out, maybe even borderline ghosting Mike Johnson. And then, this feeling of with the Sun, like this could possibly mean that the news of all this behind the scenes crap will come out. It could mean that it is exposed. It could mean that likely what we see play out across these 6 cards here will bring joy to the public. So I would say that there is something, this is likely to play out in a big way. There's something really big going to happen with this. Something really, people are going to be like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to just fizzle out and then it's over and then we move on to the next news story. I think this one's going to catch attention, whatever plays out in this situation, but I don't think that we can get a solid answer on it right now. Let's get one more, while we're on the topic of Mike Johnson, one more question. Are we likely to see anybody testify before Congress? Are we likely to see any, maybe Pam Bondi testifies, maybe Ghislaine herself testifies? I don't know. Who else? They won't talk to the victims, but they will talk to the perpetrators. I mean, are we surprised, though? Fork found in the kitchen, am I right? We're not surprised, guys. We're not. So let's kind of see if we can expect any Congress action. Gosh, what a circus or a clown show that would be. If they brought Maxwell in there, it would just be softballs left and right. They wouldn't ask her any pressing questions. I don't think they want to upset Maxwell. Okay. I feel like with the Fool popping out here, the first thing that comes to mind, I instantly see someone going in front of Congress and quite literally making a fool of themselves. They don't know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to communicate effectively. They don't know how to get a solid point across. And so therefore, whatever it is they divulge is not necessarily very telling. And then, of course, this card here, definitely getting a vibe. It's what I just said just a minute ago. Softballs, easy questions, help you get through this situation as fast and, as painless as possible so that we can just kind of move on. But at the same time, where the Wheel of Fortune comes out here at the end of the spread, I think this is going to make a problem bigger in the long run. I'm really getting the feeling that every choice that they make from this point on is going to kind of be a panic choice. And so therefore, they're not going to be thinking strategically like maybe they have in the past. Anything else we should know about someone testifying? Will there be anyone to testify? Will Congress do that at all? Because my personal conjecture is I think they're going to do everything they can to keep it from happening, unless, of course, they know that they've got the whole situation in their pocket, you know? So, something's telling me to stop right there. Ooh, now this kind of makes me feel like absolutely yes, that someone will have to go before Congress and testify. Because this is exactly how I would suspect a guilty person would feel after going in front of Congress and being just absolutely battered with questions. You know, that's how I would feel. I'd feel just like this dude looks, you know? Sorry, I know that was blurry. You know what's really funny is that in political readings, every time I see this card, I think of Congress. I don't know what it is. It's something about the little box that the charioteer is standing in. There's just something Congressy about it. I feel like this is a really good indicator that there will be someone go before Congress to testify. And here we have the Knight of Swords, and this is just completely rushing in, headlong, not knowing what you're doing, not thinking about what you're doing. Maybe in the past you were someone who was cold and calculating and couldn't get tripped up, and now all of a sudden here you are making every mistake in the book because you're just in a hurry to get it done. So very clear here, guys. I think somebody will testify in Congress, and I don't think it will go great. So a few weeks ago, I don't know when, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I'm not entirely sure, I uploaded a video. It was a Lenormand spread. I think it was a GT, and Ghislaine Maxwell's energy presented, again, slick cards, sorry about that. Her energy presented in that reading, and close to her, there were cards that suggested movement and her kind of like breaking free. I want to check back in on that and just see if anything's changed, because it's really looking like, and I'm afraid that as I'm filming this right now, that I'm gonna like see the news as soon as I'm done filming and be like, oh man, he just pardoned her. So like that part of my reading, you know, whatever. But we want to kind of look into Ghislaine's energy. So let's get a few cards. Let's see if we can get one card specifically for her and kind of check on like what's going on around her, if there's any new developments, so forth. So slick. They are so slick, guys. I'm so sorry. I probably shouldn't have used this deck. I mean, they are really slick. Try to shuffle a little slower. But I like to shuffle intuitively, so I know there's, you know, people say you're not supposed to shuffle for too long. I like to shuffle until a thought in my head tells me to stop, you know? Ghislaine is the Fool. She's the Fool from the last spread. That's what it looks like anyway. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. Queen of Pentacles. I think this woman has a very diluted perception of herself and what she deserves. I think she's a very entitled person. I think she sees herself as a victim. She's not, okay? She's not. But there is this part of her that is willing to do anything it takes, no matter how dishonest it is, to get what she wants. And as she does this, she will make grave missteps. So that's definitely what we've got there. Let's see if we can get a few more cards for her. Anything we need to know about her energy, about her situation, specifically her situation. So with this card, and maybe even this card, I definitely see that she will most likely, she'll be able to walk free. Maybe not immediately. It looks like there may be some holdups. There may be, I don't know, there's going to be pushback. Like, a lot of people are going to have a really strong reaction to this. But with this card coming out, you know, the Four of Wands or staffs, and then like with the Six of Swords, the Six of Swords to me in this spread just tells me that she's on her way to fleeing to safety. And now what's interesting here is that there is a sense of unsafe. Like, I feel a little bit unsafe. I don't know. There's just a vibe coming through here of, am I safe? I don't feel safe. I think that she is well aware that the rest of her life she's going to kind of be marked with a scarlet letter, especially with this card. Like, there's this sense of, you know, she's granted this clemency or this pardon or whatever, but she knows it's not over yet. She knows that that's not the end of the road. Like, there's something, I'm going to go ahead and say, and this is something I don't normally do, long-term predictions here, even once the smoke clears on this situation, there are going to be things with her constantly coming out in the news. People are going to be talking about like developments and like a trickle of information here and there. If she makes it, if she is able to solidly establish a life outside of incarceration, and that's the most PG way I know of phrasing that sentence, so hopefully you catch my drift. Anyway, we've got the Two of Swords here. Now, anytime I get the Two of Swords, I like to do a little thing where I do a choice. So just indulge me here. Let's do a little bit of a choice. What kind of choice is there? Let's get a card for the left and right to kind of see like what kind of choice. And I had a card fly out, so I'm going to put that on the bottom of the deck. And we're going to draw this one. Okay, so she's got the choice to walk away. Okay, I got it. What's the other choice? Before I say anything, what is the other choice? Oh my God. Wow. I feel like I should just clear the whole board so that you guys can see these. This is her choice. So on one side, she can take her newfound freedom and walk away. On the other hand, she can give back something, some closure, some, you know, even just a little nod of something to the victims, the real victims of this situation. And I think she is considering it. She is wondering if she should. Let's get one more card for each side. One card for the left, one card for the right, to kind of give us some more context here, because this is kind of crazy. In a reading I had done the other day, it was pretty adamant that she just wanted out. She wanted to move on. She wanted her life back. She wanted her freedom back. So this is kind of a new development. This is definitely an update. She's pretty much fed up. She's beaten down pretty bad. But there is a chance, she thinks, for redemption. She's got a lot of ideas of things she can do. My guess, she's probably going to write a book. You know, that'll be a big chunk of money right there. People will buy that book. I would read that book, honestly. I would probably try to get around paying her for it, because I don't see that she needs to make any money off of the horrific things that have happened. But, wow, that is pretty crazy. So she is a little bit conflicted right now. We'll have to wait and see what she decides to do. I would like to think, in a perfect world, that she will refuse to play Trump's game, and she will choose the side of the victims and the people that she hurt and give back some honesty, some integrity, put some stable ground back underneath those people and their families' feet. she probably won't, but it looks like she's thinking about it. It looks like her conscience is kind of getting to her a little bit. Let's ask one final question here, because I do want to try to get this video out to you guys today, if at all possible. And so slick. Oh my gosh. Okay, this may seem redundant. This may seem like a dumb question, but I want to see what tarot says about it. In terms of Donald Trump pardoning Maxwell, is this a panic move on his part, and will it backfire? So let's just start with, is it a panic move? That was the death card, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering, but I said I wouldn't take jumpers, so oh boy. We do have the 3 cards here, the sequence ending with your ship is coming in, your plans have come together. And then we have the contrast of a man who has everything versus someone who is out in the cold. Let's get a few more for context. I don't think it's a panic move. I'm going to take that one. I don't think it's a panic move. I think it's a strategy. And especially now that this card has jumped out, the 5 of Staffs, 5 of Wands. I think it's a strategy because he knows he needs to do this to save his own big orange rump. I don't think that it's a panic move. So is it going to backfire, though? Well, yeah, I mean, but it's it's going to backfire. But here's the caveat with the Empress here. It's not going to immediately look like it backfires. I feel like with the Empress here, it changes, the way that the swords look. I feel like it adds like almost the appearance of success. And I keep thinking like warm and fuzzy feelings, like, oh, this is so wonderful. Like maybe Donald Trump saying, oh, this wonderful woman, she's so wonderful. She deserves to be free. Like, it's almost the fact that it's not even just the pardon itself. That will definitely do some damage. Don't get me wrong. It's almost like it's what he does following the pardon. The amount of praise, maybe he lets something slip. I don't know. I keep thinking of like him letting the narrative get away from him. He's like all over the place. He's rambling. And he just keeps digging the hole deeper. He just keeps making things worse for himself. It's going to be wild. I don't know. That's all I can really say is that it's going to be wild. Let's get 3 more cards just in case there's anything else we need to know. Now, that's usually my no card, but I don't know. I didn't really ask a no. Oh, so there's that card again. So, with the 8 of Pentacles, we have this sense of mastery of skill. Someone who has mastered a skill, and it being next to the moon. This is the art of deception. It's the art of the deal. It's very bigly. You guys know. This is Donald Trump's mastery of deception. But I also think that in the long term, it is how it is perceived by the public. And so this does kind of confirm what I was talking about up here. How do I put this so that it's like concise and not confusing? His deception, he thinks he's a master of it. But then on the other hand, once he has completed his plan, whatever his plan is specifically, like I said, he keeps digging the hole deeper, and it is the way that it falls apart before the public. It is the way that society carries this situation forward. It's the choices he makes immediately after he pardons her. There's something really big going to happen with the choices he makes thereafter. I don't know what it is. I could probably keep prying, maybe try to figure it out. We're going to leave it at that because this video is getting a little bit long. Hopefully you enjoyed this, though. Really interesting cards. Super interesting. This whole situation is so energetic. I feel like the cards are really talking this week. So we're going to be doing tons of videos on this. I hope you're not getting tired of it. I think that'll do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave a little moon or crystal ball emoji in the comments. Let me know you watched the whole thing. I will be back very soon with I think my next video will probably be a Lenormand breakdown of Donald Trump's August. I already did his August predictions, but I feel like there's a lot more information that needs to be uncovered and discussed. So we're going to do like a week by week breakdown. So stay tuned for that. And don't forget to click the like button. And if you enjoyed this video and this type of content, stick around, hit the subscribe, become part of the community. And I will see you guys in the next video.